when a woman is objecting, I don't give her any more time. I sort of renege the situation. So for example, let's say, for example, you know, I'm talking to a woman or whatever, and she's kind of like being, uncooperative, right? So either one or two things. I'm just going to end the conversation and walk to another woman, or I might be in a situation where, I'm trying to close the deal or make something happen with her, and she might object to how that's happening, and then I'll basically walk away. So meaning, like, let's say I tell a girl, hey, take your phone out and put my number in it, and then she tells me, no, you take your phone out and take my number, right? And then I'll say, listen, you have a nice night, and then I'll walk away. Or I say, listen, I'm gonna be in the club. When you're ready to put my number in your phone, come over to me, and I'll give you the number. You see what I'm saying? So basically, she has to follow what I'm saying at all times. I don't do anything that she's saying. You see what I mean? If she's requesting something, or if she's trying to, do something to get power in the situation, I don't deal with her. You see what I'm saying? So either she's cooperating with me fully 100%, right, about what I'm doing, or I don't really fuck with her. You understand what I'm saying? So that's basically how I handle those situations.
I want to respond to some of the earlier comments. So I definitely agree with everything Mr. Locario said earlier. So I think it's just the angle that we're looking at it, right? So for sure, absolutely, I could tell right away if the girl's low, medium, or high interest, right? But the thing is, that is gaming as if it's about the girl in front of you. At the end of the day, we're going to be talking to thousands of women over the next X amount of months, right? If you look at your dating goal, right, between now and your future serious girlfriend or your future wife stands thousands of women, let's say 5,000 women, right? And you're trying to collect the skill set to become the type of guy that attracts your final wife or whatever, right? If each set, you should be learning something. You should be improving your cold reads, because if you don't learn anything between each interaction, I've seen guys who've been in the game for 10 years, all they do is spam approach, and their game hasn't improved. Like back in the day when RSD had like their fucking summits in Vegas, and they had like 200 guys in the club, and these guys did exactly that, right? They spam approached. Ice, you still there or no?
Oh no, he's still there. You just got it on mute, I think.
Okay, cool. So back in the day, these guys would spam approach like 100 women, and sure, they would get, some of them would get lucky, they would get laid, but these are like extremely drunk or DTF women, right? So I think it's important where you're talking to the girl, like you understand their background, right? Let's say you're talking to a Chinese girl, you should know some cities in China. You should know, it's about what have you accumulated, what have you learned for the next set, dating, doing pickup, whatever. It's a goal of iterations, right? It's kind of like you're playing a video game. You got to level up per individual interaction. So yeah, whether or not, to be honest, you get laid, your dick's happy for like 5 minutes, but like, did you actually learn it, right? So I think we got to look at it in terms of long-term planning. Are we getting better over time? And then I will say another thing, right? You look at the average time it takes for a student to talk to a girl. For a guy to pull a girl, the average, I would say, like 100 pulls, the average student would be in set for about 45 minutes. A lot of times, you just absolutely cannot tell if a girl is DTF in the first five. Like, they don't show it in their face. Like, you just can't. Like, most girls in the club aren't going to show their hands right away. So it's, some girl, especially if they're sober, or like if they're Asian girls, if they're Latina, okay, sure. Like they're like really physical with you right away. You kind of have a hit. A lot of girls are compliant. What that means is they will do what you tell them over time, but they're not going to show right away like, oh, I am sexually into you. A lot of Asian girls or whatnot, they'll just fucking stare at you with a blank face. And a lot of beginners would be like, okay, she's not interested. But if you actually keep talking and then you like build compliance, 30 minutes later, you're like, oh shit, she's like going to the she's going to the dance floor with me. She's going over here with me. Windows of opportunity, a lot of times don't open up until like the 30, 40 minute mark. right? Especially when you're out in the club and you got to deal with friends. There's that whole aspect. You might have to grind it out until like she's seen at least 5 songs from the DJ, or it's her friend's birthday party. She's gonna feel like a bad friend if her friend doesn't, if she doesn't interact with her friend for a while. At least she doesn't seem like a good person, you know. So yeah, it's just almost impossible. Like even I can't just screen for girls that are DTF in 5 minutes. I gotta like, okay, let
But
me try to isolate her.
why not? Why can't you? Why can't you find that out?
Because it's too early. You just don't have enough information, right? You don't know the logistics
So
for
what
the most part.
information do you need to know?
Well, if you meet her at like midnight, right?
Mhm.
You don't know if she's gonna go home with you, right? Most girls aren't trying to get laid at the club. Most girls are trying to, or at least in Vegas, but even Vegas is pretty sexualized environment. Most girls are just going to the club to have fun with their friends. So pulling is a small minority, right? Most girls are not going to tell you they're down right away.
So I think the issue is this, because I heard you say, what are the guys learning? And I agree that guys need to like learn certain things, but they need to learn, the most important thing is to learn about themselves. So I keep hearing learning, but it's correlated to like the woman. You feel what I'm saying? So like you're like, well, if this Chinese girl, like if I'm talking to a Chinese girl, I don't need to learn shit about the Chinese girl. I don't give a shit about her like that. You understand what I'm saying? The only time I give
you do.
No, I don't.
You do, because with Asian girls, you need to build comfort, and that means familiarity. If you spoke Chinese, your hook rate, your open rate with Chinese girls is going to be significantly higher.
But this is what I'm saying.
That makes sense?
But this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I don't need to know her, because all I'm doing is I'm seeing how she responds to me. That's it. So what I'm saying is, and this is what I'm talking about, because you're saying, well, I can't know if the girl's down to fuck within 5 minutes.
Well, let me ask you this: if you go to Colombia, you speak Spanish, do you think you're going to do better than a guy that doesn't speak Spanish?
You said if I speak Spanish, am I going to do better?
If you go to Colombia, you speak fluent Spanish, are you going to pull same game, same level of game? Are you going to pull with a higher success rate than just a gringo that doesn't speak any Spanish? Of course.
Well, if he doesn't speak any Spanish, but his game is tighter, then he's going to pull more than the guy who speaks Spanish. So that's what I'm saying.
Same level of skill.
Right.
You have a clone. The clone version of you speaks perfect Spanish.
It will be the same.
And you who don't, it won't be the same. It absolutely will not be the same. If you spoke perfect, think about it, dude. A big percentage of game is verbal.
Right, but this is what I'm trying to say to you. So I'm saying is, because you said that you are not able to figure out if the girl's down to fuck. And what I'm saying is that you can, by having a conversation and interaction that's sexual, as quick as possible. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if I walk up to a woman and I go up to her and I say, hey, what's up? How you doing? My name is Locario. What's your name? Tiffany. Tiffany, nice to meet you. Listen, I came over here because I thought you sexy as fuck.
Okay.
And I want to take you back to my place tonight and do some nasty things to your body. Now, once I say that, she might smile, she might look disgusted, or she might laugh. She might all the things. She's gonna give me a response. So the response, based on what she's saying or doing, is gonna let me know, is she actually down to fuck, if she's going in that direction or not. So what I'm saying is that most guys,
of course, you go direct. She'll tell you,
that's what I'm saying.
But so that's gonna lower your success rate, though.
How is that lowering your success rate?
Because you don't have time. Like you said, she has to make that decision right then and there, right? She'd have to be really fucking DTF. To say that. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing: like, you have an archetype where some girls will just want to go home with the BBC, and it works for you, bro. We're talking about regular ass students who haven't gotten laid in months. It don't work with a regular ass dude. You're like, why guys? Girls are either really down, or they're not about that, right? And so if you want to take a small percentage, that's fine, right? If you want to talk to 100 girls and you want to get like 2% that are like that, that's cool. But if you want to expand it to like 20%, 30%, then you're gonna have to spend a little bit more game.
So, but what is that thing that makes them like? Okay, so let's say let's say me and you are out, right? And we're talking
Okay.
and there's two unattractive women talking to us right now. They walked up to us and just started
Yeah.
talking to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're thinking in our mind, I'm never sleeping with these women. They'll never get my dick.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
is there something they can do to get your dick now? Can they talk their way into your pants?
For me, no, but in a large enough sample, listen, if you go to China, you go to like Asian countries, you do that direct shit, you're gonna have a 0% hook. You're gonna have zero.
No,
No girl will say yes to that.
but this is my point.
I'm serious.
But that's my point. What I'm trying
So
to
you
say. My point is the same way you were that woman that you're not attracted to, she can't talk her way into your pants. What I'm saying is, how is talking these guys? How are they talking their way into the woman's pants?
Because I have like thousands of student polls locked in. Most of them aren't 5 minutes. Most of them are like 30, 40, 50 minutes. So I have the data, right? The amount of guys who pull in under like 5-10 minutes, that's less than like 2%. 80% of the polls are longer than 40 minutes. It's the way it is.
No, I agree with you, but that's because they're wearing the woman down. That's what I'm saying. They're dealing with.
But look, if they could have pulled in 2 minutes, they fucking would have.
But they could
if girls are
girls.
We've done that, dude. If you get like a short, balding Indian guy going direct, they're just gonna get banned by the club security, bro.
So let me ask you a question. What makes you say this woman, I'm gonna spend, half an hour, 45 minutes talking to her versus less time or less, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not.
A lot of girls will fuck a guy because he's the last man standing. You just gotta pass and you gotta be good enough, but you gotta be the last man standing.
No,
that means you gotta be. What?
No, I'm asking about what is it about the particular girl? Meaning, because you're saying you gotta talk to for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What is it about her that makes it to where you need to do that specifically for this woman versus another woman that you don't need to do that for?
Yeah, but okay, sure. Yeah, some girls are easier. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Some girls you have to put out. Okay.
Saying, what's the difference?
It's not. But listen, bro. It's not like these girls have a fucking light, like an LED on their sign that says "I'm down in 5 minutes." Right? Mm-hmm. They're not gonna tell you they're down a meter. But yeah, from your penis standpoint, it's the same. From your growth standpoint, for your brain standpoint, talking longer makes you a more of a dynamic, multifaceted person.
But
that makes sense.
But what's the difference between talking to, let's say, one girl, right, for say about 10, 15, 20, 20. Let's say talking to one girl for 25 minutes versus 5 girls for 5 minutes each. What's the difference?
Sure. When you reset, you're kind of saying the same thing over and over again, right? It's like, what's the difference between running a marathon and running 1 mile 26 times? One is you have more endurance, you have more materials, you have more depth, right? Because when you're talking to the same girl for 25 minutes, you can't be using the same material, right? And also, what happens if you date a girl? If you talk to 1,000 women, in every 1,000 iterations, just the first 5 minutes, I mean, and that's all you know. It's like, hello, I'm Mr. BBC. I want to do the nasty to you. All right. Well, okay. What happens when you take her on the second date? What are you gonna say? I'm gonna do nasty part 2, and then the third date part 3. I mean, she's gonna be like, "Yo, this dude is like whack."
No. This is what you're not getting. This is what I'm saying. Like, what I'm saying is, again, you guys are focusing too much on the woman. So what I'm saying is everything.
It is about the woman. You're gaming the girl. So your game has to differ between.
It doesn't. The game is not about women. Okay, let me ask you. You ever went to McDonald's?
Yes.
Do they change the menu based on who comes in, or is the menu the same?
They split test the hell out of it. They spend billions of dollars testing out their menu. When you go to China, listen, hold on. When they go to China, they have Chinese variants of McDonald's. When you go to India, they got curry version of McDonald's. You betcha they're spending billions of dollars iterating their McDonald's food.
Right. What I'm saying is that it's essentially the same thing. It's the same type of food, and they package it the same way all the time, and they give it to everybody.
That has been refined over decades, and they know. They literally probably know how many molecules of fucking whatever extract that enhances the taste. You know, like ketchup has been they've done science on ketchup and why it's so addicting. It literally does like umami flavor, it has vinegar, it has sweet, it has like 4 different flavors. That's why it tastes so good. It's not like
So
let
let me
me just mix up some shit.
so let me ask it a different way. Can you go to
Okay.
McDonald's and get a Whopper?
Well then you'd go to Burger King.
Exactly. That's my point. So what I'm saying is that McDonald's is never going to be like somebody's going to say, "Hey, let me get a Whopper," and they're not going to be like,
Okay,
"Oh,
okay. All
let
right.
me make a
Okay,
Whopper."
so
That's
all
what
right.
I'm going to tell you.
Do you run the same game with a Brazilian girl versus a wholesome like Japanese girl?
Yeah, I talk because every woman the same.
They're not the same. Their DNA is different. Their culture is different. Their language is different. They're not the same, dude.
But that's
If
what
I run Japanese game in Brazil, they're gonna think I'm a beta ass cuck. And if I go to Japan and I game girls like they're Brazilian, I'm gonna get deported. It's very much different. All girls are different because if you game the same to all women, it's like you're an autistic robot, dude.
no, but this is what I'm trying to get.
Different women.
This is what I'm trying to get you.
Okay.
See, you're changing yourself based on the women. I'm saying the women have to change based on me. That's what you're not getting. So in any
But
situation,
that's not the reality, dude.
no,
That's saying the world needs to change for me because I'm
it
so
is.
special.
No,
But
it is the reality. Because what I'm saying to you is, in any situation, somebody has to submit to somebody else. So what I'm saying is, if you're in a situation with a woman, right, and you're changing for her, you're submitting to her. If she's changing for me, she's submitting to me.
okay.
So what I'm saying is that you changing for the woman is you essentially submitting to women. So you say, well, this girl's like this, and I feel like this girl's like this. So I'm going to do this with this girl, and I'm going to do that with that girl. So you don't have an actual masculine identity. Shout out to Miles Cunningham.
Uh-huh.
You're not
Yeah.
you're not grounded in your stuff. You're not grounded in this is how Mike does it, and that's
Yeah.
it. And they have to bend to your will. Why are you bending to their will?
I'm not changing my core values. I'm just changing the speed I'm going.
But you said that there's a different way you would go at a Brazilian chick versus some wholesome girl.
Absolutely. It just works better.
So
well, I mean, look, so if you want to take a hit on success and you just want to like force it, okay.